Exactly a year ago, I was feeling lost on my art journey. As many artists, I was trying to sell my art to people on social media, while not really being sure why they should buy it in the first place. Because it's pretty, I guess? A year later, I am way more focused. I know who I'm selling my art to and why. I have so many ideas for future artworks and products, and I'm incredibly excited to work on it all. What changed? I found my niche. This is the story about how I started taking inspiration from Slavic traditions in my art, why I did it, how it helped me, and how finding your own niche might help you as well if you're also feeling a bit lost as a creative. In the last part of the video, I'll throw in some tips on how to find your own niche. So firstly, what is a niche? The Oxford Learner's Dictionaries define it as a comfortable or suitable role, job, way of life, etc. Or a small section of the market for a particular kind of product or service. In simple terms, it's something you specialize in. But the more specific you are about it, the better. You could say I'm an artist who specializes on illustration, but that's still too broad. So I would say I specifically specialize on creating Slavic-inspired illustrations. I take inspiration from Slavic villages and rural areas, my childhood, growing up in a Slavic country, and Slavic mythology. This speaks to a specific group of people, other Slavs who had the same experiences growing up and love the nostalgia, or people who love the village life aesthetic and want to escape to it from their daily lives. So what was my art and business like before I consciously decided to pursue this niche? Well, being the people pleaser I am, I was trying to be liked by everyone. I was exploring lots of themes in my art, hoping that this will be the one that will actually bring me more customers. I looked at what other people were doing and thought that if they were successful with this kind of art, I have to be too. Sometimes I would even choose to draw something I wasn't too excited about, but knew it might do well and the general public would like it. Like fan art. My general philosophy was, if everyone finds a little something they like about my art and my products, if I make it general enough so that there's a little bit for everyone, then everyone must buy it, right? Right? I can't say things were incredibly bad for me. I still had people buy my art, which was wonderful. But to be perfectly honest, I could never turn it into even a resemblance of a career if I kept things the way they were. So what was actually the thing that made me decide on a niche? I discovered the wonderful world of marketing. I know, it sounds awful. You're probably imagining a sleazy salesperson trying to force you into buying a set of pots and pans you'll never use, but they're 50% off and that's an amazing deal, so you have to act now. I did too. But turns out marketing can actually be fun when you get rid of the idea of the sleazy market people, because that's not what it is, at least not generally. Marketing is a way to let people know how you can help them. Your business should be solving a problem your target customer has, and marketing is letting them know about the fact that you can do exactly that. I got several marketing courses, read books, watched videos, really dove deep into it, and I found out something wonderful. Art can solve people's problems too. The problem can be very tiny in the grand scheme of things. I need cute stickers for my planner so that I feel more excited about using it, which will make me more productive. Or I just moved, my walls are blank, and I need something that would remind me of home to decorate them with, so that I don't feel as homesick. And these problems can be found way easier when you have a niche and are talking to a specific group of people. The best thing I learned from marketing is you don't have to be an okay choice for everyone. You have to be the perfect choice for a specific group of people. Imagine how the I have to please everyone part of me felt when she discovered that. What are some other reasons why it might be nice to specialize on something as an artist? You tell better stories via your art if you focus on a specific field and explore it deeply. It makes you stand out in the big crowd of artists on social media. You attract like-minded people. It's way easier to come up with and market new products. You might say that this is stifling creativity. After all, you're an artist. You want to express yourself in any way you want. I get it. You don't have to have a niche, of course. If the idea of niching down makes you nauseous, don't listen to me. But the harsh truth is, if you want to make your art into a career, especially by selling products and being on social media, it's way harder to market yourself in this day and age as an artist who draws everything. Niche is a way to stand out in the crowd. But how does one find their niche? Firstly, let's look at how I did it. So why did I choose Slavic niche out of all things? And what exactly is it about? When I say I'm inspired by Slavic traditions, I mean I take the mythological creatures, the way my grandparents and even parents were living, the customs, the nature, the traditional clothes, and redraw them my way. Since some of the traditions are a bit outdated, to put it lightly, I like to reimagine and reclaim them. For example, the Czech Easter tradition, in which men hit women so that they stay healthy the whole year? Yeah, this one is my favorite to get angry about. Slavic influences have been finding their way to my work for a while now. And no wonder. I grew up in a Slavic village, knew about the folk tales, even burned Morana, the Slavic embodiment of winter, to welcome spring as a child. And despite thinking I'd love to live in a big city as a teenager, because everyone did, there was something about the quiet village life that started attracting me more and more as I grew up. You could see me throw in the Slavic influences here and there, like this Rusalki illustration I did back in 2018, or my Patreon tiers from 2021, this sticker sheet, or this grandma theme from 2023. The great thing was that people reacted on it positively. My favorite compliments I was getting on my Slavic-inspired pieces were along the lines of, "This art reminds me of home." I wanted to bring more of those feelings to more people. I wanted to help them with the problem of missing their home. So in August 2023, I finally decided it's time to fully embrace the Slavic aesthetic. Since then, I explored 11 different themes featuring mythology characters, Slavic traditions, seasonal changes, and lots of village magic. I feel good in that niche. I know there are many stories waiting for me to interpret and retell them my way. It just feels right. It was simply meant to be. So why did it take me so long to fully embrace it? I was worried. What if I get bored of it in a few months? What if I run out of ideas? Well, I'm a year in, and I keep finding new things to talk about. I might get bored of it eventually, sure, but so far I know there are so many themes I still haven't explored, and I'm incredibly excited about them. At first glance, you may feel like this niche is too narrow. However, there's a whole universe of things to draw. For example, I love being inspired by seasons and how the village nature changes throughout the year. Each month has a different aesthetic to explore. There's also variety in the tone of the pieces. I can make a cute grandma scene versus a dark Baba Yaga piece. Both are illustrations featuring an old lady near her house, but both have quite a different tone. I can also play around with mythology and draw supernatural beings, or I can simply draw the interior of a Slavic grandma house. Does it have its limits? Of course. You will very likely never see me draw a sci-fi hyper-tech illustration, unless I find a way to make it Slavic, which could honestly be a super creative spin on the niche. But that's okay, because I actually don't really feel like drawing sci-fi to begin with. So I found my niche. I started posting about it on social media, I blew up, I got thousands of sales every day, and everything was perfect, right? No. My reach actually went down. Remember when I said you should be the perfect choice for a specific group of people, not an okay choice for everyone? Of course, if you're an okay choice, lots of people will give you a like or comment, nice pic. But then they will move on about their day. Your posts might even go viral, but that doesn't mean they will attract customers. People might notice you, but forget about you in a couple of seconds when they scroll to a new post. Their soul won't sing when they see your art. They won't eagerly wait for your next post. They won't want to buy your art. But then imagine the people who resonate with your art on a whole new level, because you speak directly to them, you address their struggles, they feel seen, heard, understood. After I specified my niche, I started getting such wonderful, specific reviews and feedbacks. People are telling me how my art reminds them of their childhood, how I'm bringing a piece of home to them, would share stories of how they experienced the things I wrote about. And that is absolutely amazing to hear. It means the goals I set are coming true. And my art has purpose that's beyond a pretty picture. But what about sales? They actually went up. It wasn't an amazing movie-like blow-up you'd want in a success story, but we have to consider one thing. My pool of customers got smaller, yet my sale numbers got bigger. To give you some numbers, when I started actually thinking about my customers and properly communicating the purpose behind my art instead of just posting it, I got more sales in the first 2 hours of my shop opening than I did in the first 2 days of the opening a year before. But this is not just about the sales. What's the most important part? I am so excited to work on the Slavic pieces. I love to do the research about the customs and mythological beings. I like to visit Slavic museums, walk through villages and gather inspiration material, and then enjoy weaving all that into my artwork. I have always been excited about making art, but this Slavic niche has sparked new appreciation for creating in me. And that's exactly what I needed after feeling lost. I have a path I can take now. I know where I'm going, and I'm excited for the journey. This is the best feeling for me. If you're an artist or a creative who also feels a bit lost on your journey and would like to find your own niche as well, here are some tips. You can apply it to any creative field. Firstly, think of what you want to create. It has to be fun for you so that you can develop it and stay with it for some time. But at the same time, try to think of what you can bring to your customers through that. Start by taking a piece of paper and writing about you and your art. Here are some prompt questions you can use. Find links between your answers. What keeps repeating? If you see a pattern, that might be a good starting point for your niche. Your niche can also be about what you want to change in the world, whose voice you want to be heard, whose stories you want to tell. Imagine people talking about you. Ah yes, your name. That's the person who creates blank. What would you want the blank to be? What would you like to be known for? Cute art won't work as a niche because there are probably 100 artists you can name right now who fall into that category. Even my art can be considered cute sometimes, so be specific. It sometimes helps to add the word for after your art specialization. For example, cute art versus cute art for gamers who are bored of the cold, high-tech everything and want something adorable to decorate their technology with, like cute keycaps, mousepad, desktop wallpapers, or dark and magical art versus dark and magical art for people who love Halloween and want to have it around all year long, or detailed illustrations versus detailed illustrations for people who like to hang up big art pieces they can look at for 1,000 times and still discover something new in them. Mine would be Slavic art for people who miss their Slavic home country or childhood. You're a creative person. I'm sure you can come up with something cool. Think of a problem your niche is solving for people. What kind of person would absolutely love to display or use such art? Instead of making new products just because every artist is doing them, always think about whether your target audience will have any use for them. Specify what the use will be and then communicate it. You can also ask them. This will ensure you'll never pay a big sum of money to make a product only to find out no one wants to buy it and it will be gathering dust on your product shelf. We've all been there. Also think of the form you want to sell your art in. Do your ideal customers prefer huge poster-sized prints to put as a feature decor on a wall, or tiny A6 postcards because they like to put several art pieces next to each other? Do they journal and therefore would love to use stickers and other creative journaling supplies? Are they artists themselves and so would love a sketchbook with your art on the cover, or a clay paint palette to put their paint in? I specified my niche by choosing supplies for journaling. Stickers mainly, because I noticed most of my target audience loves to journal. That comes from back when I was posting about my bullet journal. Look into the basics of marketing if you're still struggling. I took my marketing courses in Czech, so they probably won't be much help for you, but I still mention them in the description because they taught me how to think of my niche, and a lot of the thoughts I share here come from them. But honestly, there are many free tutorials, for example here on YouTube, blog posts, books, podcasts, and more. Just search up marketing. Is niche a solution to all your problems? Probably not. But can it help you to attract more loyal customers who will adore what you create? Absolutely. Niche can definitely change and adapt to your needs as you grow as a creative. Maybe a couple of years from now, I'll be talking about how I pivoted to the futuristic sci-fi theme because I got bored of the Slavic stuff. But right now, I feel very comfortable in my little Slavic village. I hope this video was helpful to you, especially if you're a creative who is struggling on their journey the same way I was. And I hope you stay around so that I can bring more Slavic village magic to your life through my future videos.